Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time to have a live stream. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. I hope you're all well, cozy, comfy, looking after yourself. In such a troubled world we live, becoming more and more troubled. We need to look after ourselves, make sure that we are okay. Mental health, physical health. I don't know how closely you've been following the tragedy in Gaza. It's too often difficult to watch. And yet, we need to see it. How am I? Asked Duck. Well, that's very kind of you to ask. This is called Actimel. It's something I'm supposed to drink at least twice a day. Well, how am I? I look okay. I feel okay. Sometimes my blood clot in the leg bothers me. Well, this is what the dietitian advised. But of course, that's before I was diagnosed with lung cancer. um, well, it was suggested that I drink this stuff, and so I buy it on a regular basis, and I drink it every day. Quite often, it's more than two. You can see yourself; they're very small. Uh, Treble M's asking, can't they get rid of the blood clot? Well, the cancer apparently is the thing that initiated the blood clot. So they put me on blood thinners, which is a small tablet. I take two of them, one in the morning, one in the evening, and I take them along with my morphine for my arthritis leg. And the idea is that with the blood thinning, it will help to dissipate the blood clot, and it'll take some time to do it. In the meanwhile, my leg is swollen slightly, making it slightly bigger than the left leg. Okay, but with the blood thinners, the idea is that the clot will gradually dissipate. I'm also told that it may not entirely go away. I may have something of it for the rest of my life. Now, I've discovered, because of this, now I had no idea about this, that this apparently is a common feature in my extended family. My uncle Christopher has had blood clot problems since he was a teenager. He's now in his 60s, and continues to have problems. And most of the families had problems with it. Yeah, good. There's Durst. He reminds me, so he does, that I've got one of his tracks here that I should have been playing a while back. So I've got it there, Durst. That will That will help me not to forget. So anyway, the blood clot may or may not go away in time. It doesn't really bother me most of the time, but now and then it can be dreadfully painful. But a couple of paracetamols uh, takes the pain away. So I can take, what was it? 4 times a day I can take 2 of them to relieve the pain from the blood clot. But I have never had to do that yet. I've taken 1 set of 2 in the morning, and that usually sees me through the rest of the day without any pain. So that's as much as they can do with it. That's the standard treatment, apparently. So that's the answer to your question, Trevor M. But thank you uh, for asking and being concerned. You're looking well, John, says Durst. Good to see you. Good to see you here. I don't suppose there's any reason why I can't put it. Treble M is asking, John, are you getting on with usual chores and activities? Yes. The only thing I'm not doing, Treble M, and this is mainly due to my son Samuel, is I'm not doing the shopping. He's doing that. And mainly, of course, weather, as we all know, has been absolutely atrocious. So it's best for me to stay indoors. Apart from that, yeah, I'm just doing the same things. So I'm functioning, which is the main thing, the only thing, really. Duck, as long as you're not kept in pain, John, constant pain is a real drain on the will. Absolutely, Duck, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Streaky, I suppose this has stopped you chasing scantily clad women around town like the play out of a Benny Hill then. Sad to say, yes, it has. Weather doesn't permit. Well, that's for sure, Treble M. You're right there, Budgie. The weather is miserable. No, the wee fella's very good about getting the stuff in, which allows me to, well, it allows my body then to work on getting itself as well as it can be. Well, if you've listened to that, Durst, just listen to Laura Towler's speech. Inspiring, he says. Well, I think what we should do, if I can do it, if I can remember how it's done. This is one of Durst's pieces of music we're going to listen to. The Once and Future King. He sent me this a while back, and obviously I have not had the chance to play it, not being around as regular as I once was. But I've listened to it a few times and I rather like this, so have a listen. Let me know what you think, and I hope you like it. The Once and Future King.
In a cave at the side of a crooked hill, a bearded future king sat still to watch a spider climb. 7 times he tried. And as he watched the spider climb, only to slip down again, he felt a kindred soul and shared its lofty goal. And as he watched that spider climb, only to slip down again, he wished the spider well. Two hermits in a cell. Then up the silken thread went he, slow and sure and carefully, until he reached his home, and balance was restored. The once a future king took heed, employed the lessons he would need to win his rightful throne when balance is restored.
There you go, folks. Good evening, Happy House. Yeah, a long time. It is indeed a long time. Glad you like it, Streaky. Oh, there's David William. Good to see you. Yeah, it's the old story set to music. Nice guitar playing and all. I mean, the whole thing's nice. I just liked it when I heard it. So, sorry for the hold up, but you finally get there to see it. A nice compliment from Treble M. You have a lovely singing voice, Durst. Fourth. There you go. Appreciated. Well, that'll be Durst himself that sang that. Yeah, he didn't say otherwise. So when the person doesn't say otherwise, I assume it, the author of the song is also the singer of the song. Um, yeah, he's writing to his own strengths, which is the whole idea of writing your own songs. It gives you the opportunity to set the moods that you want to set, and it allows you to set it in a framework that suits your own voice. Because the truth of the matter is, it's unlikely that anybody else is going to sing your song. So you have to sing it yourself. And it can be a blessing, but it can be a curse as well, of course. But I think it's a nice song. And there's lots of good songs on his channel. You should think about going there, logging on to his channel. Thought it was Bob Dylan, did you? Great singing. Thought it was Bob Dylan at first. Very good, Street. My singing is awful, but my piss singing is superb. I think that's part of the difficulty with um, people of a certain generation, shall we say. If they hear an acoustic guitar and a single voice, male voice, it's so associated with Dylan that there's this automatic link between you and Dylan is made by audiences, even when you're standing in front of them. And that can be off-putting. When you see Durst saying it, the early stuff, I'm going to make the assumption that he's talking pre-electric. I was never a big fan of Dylan myself, to be honest. We used to play one or two of his songs in the group. Obviously, not very many because not many were suited. I've never been hugely a fan of his. But yeah, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, I don't think, if people associate you with uh, other singers. They will do that anyway. We all do it. People do that with me. It's on a magic around of it. And it all comes back to personal taste, doesn't it, really? What is it you're looking for in music? What is it you turns your light on? What is it you pay more attention to? Oh, there's William. Good evening, William. To me, songs are like poems. People have asked me that over the years, "Oh, which poet do you like? Who's your favourite poet? Who do you think's the best poet?" Same as they've asked me about singers. But to me, it's the same thing all the time. I'll just finish what I was talking about, Rory. Um, to me, for my taste, it always comes down to individual songs. So, for example, I like, who would I say? Somebody like Ralph McTell. I don't like all the songs. Dylan would be the same. I don't like all the songs. Same as poets, various poets that I like. I don't like all their poems. And that's the way I see it. Music and poetry is the same. Oh God, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Let me hold that there. And that's the way I think about these things. Rory is saying, "Dear John, did you hear that the Homeland Party just got registered as an official political party by the Electoral Commission? I think that you and they have a lot in common. What do you think?" Well, I'm surprised and pleased, of course, but I'm surprised. Depends on what they put on their application, of course. I'm laughing, Rory, because I've met them. They came here to visit me a couple of years back. Kenny Smith and Company. Now I'm sure he didn't put down on his application form what he said to me in private. I'm sure of that. Have we got a lot in common? Yes and no is the honest answer. I think a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, some of what Kenny um, wants to talk about and thinks is relevant to talk about, I don't. You've heard me say this before, all of you have heard me say this before. I think a lot of nationalist ideas need, in my opinion, to be left in history. That's just my view. And I've said also about that particular history, can we learn from it? We can learn from some of it, but we cannot take it into the 21st century with us. Happy House, I'm not bothered. I cannot be bothered with poetry. I like poetry with added music, what we call songs. Fair enough. I like songs as well, and I like my poetry and my songs to be rhyming. Well, that's true, Doc. Doc saying an album from someone can be overall dreadful, but there might be a few decent songs in there. Well, I've bought in the past when I was out performing, I would buy albums for one song just to get the lyrics from one song, learn how to play it. And I've done that. So I take that point. Uh, there's a song I'm interested in. Am I doing any reading at the moment? Uh, Not really, Trevor. No, I haven't even made a start on that book you sent me. The Charlie Dickens book. It's ghost stories, folks. Charles Dickens, a collection of ghost stories. Lovely presentation. I like the idea. It's the old-fashioned thing that always stayed with me, and I've included it in some of my own books. You get illustrations. A lot of the books when I was growing up, they would have illustrations in them, like that. Um, and at the foot of a page, you might have a space at the foot of a page, and you would get a little illustration there, like this sort of thing, where you've got this space here, oh, here, and they would put an illustration there. And I always liked that. And this little book has it. So I haven't got round to reading this. And Trevelyan sent me this other book here, this A Month in the Country, which I started to read. But at the time when these books arrived, I was spending so much time in bed with a fever that I couldn't really get through them, and I haven't got back to them yet. So apologies for that, but I will get through it. Don't worry. Um, Apparitions, yes, apparitions. Well, the reason they'll tell you why they are rare in books nowadays, Treble M, they'll talk about cost. It pushes the print cost up. But I used to like them, still do. Uh, da, 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 da. This is one of my books. And you get this. It's a book divided into 3 sections. First section is the Ashley Chronicles. These were specially commissioned. These illustrations. My son paid for these. This is meant to be the character Ashley Catwiser. It's a story about cats. Fighting for survival in their world against their great enemy. The rats. I can't remember if Trevor Lane bought this book or not. I think she might have. It's the Ravens. It's meant to be the Ravens. I didn't do this. These illustrations, they were bought and paid for by an artist. Well, my son bought them for me. An artist friend of his. So yeah, I like that in a book. But again, it's something that I grew up with. Well, that's true as well. Folio editions of books are beautiful, and they are. Great Expectations, says Budgie, is the only one that I have read. Yeah, good story. Yeah, most of his stuff's good. So what's this you're saying? David William? Oops, don't go away. Used to buy lots of music. Can't bear most now. Just agenda-driven drivel. Most. Just listen to folk and flute type music now. There's a great one on YouTube. Tin Whistle Music. The Heart of Argyle. Well, that's up early, Steve. 5 o'clock. I love it when it says Happy House. I love it when I turn the page over and the last page of a chapter fills less than half the page. That means I'm going to go to sleep. It's like a wee bonus. I like that. No, I was never a lawyer, Rory, never a lawyer. Although In some of the places I worked, I was often called a lawyer for the union. Budgie's a cat person. Like you, John, says Budgie, I'm more connected to cats. Dogs are too much like people. Attention seekers. I need to read more, says Steve. I miss the ritual of it all. Yeah, there is a whole ritual. And not only that, folks, quite apart from the kindness of Treble M, my friend in Glasgow, also, I'm looking up here because it's up here someplace, bought me 2 books last year as well. Hang on. Papers and books covered in them. I'm telling you. He bought me this. The Art of Hammer. And the reason he bought it is because when I was a young boy, what's this? All right. When I was very young, I used to collect movie posters. I would go to the cinema on a Saturday night and ask the men who were changing the posters outside, could I have the poster they were taking down? They didn't always give me them, but quite often they did. And so I had this collection of real movie posters. But then came a time when we had to move house. The bulldozers were coming to pull our house down along with everyone else's. And my movie poster collection was lost in the moving from one house to the other house. And these are reproductions, of course. It's a big heavy book. This is wrong side, the other side, John. This movie here, this is Oliver Reed. This was his, if you like, his breakthrough movie. He'd been in other movies before this one, but this made him much more known to the general public. Curse of the Werewolf. Very good makeup. It was very good makeup. I thought he played the part very well. So this is why my friend bought me this. It was a kind of compensation for, I mean, this would be, this is one of the posters I had. Weighs a ton, this book. That one here. The Brides of Dracula. I had this poster. Why I'm making such a thing of it, in case you don't know, in case you're not aware, is these original posters fetch hundreds and hundreds of pounds now. They're very collectible. And it sort of upsets me to think that I had a lot of these. I had this one as well. This was the first time I'd ever seen Anton differing in a film. This one here, The Man That Could Cheat Death. Good story. He was more famous as he went along. He played quite often. He played, German high officers, generals in the army, or an SS man or whatever. He was fair-haired, blue-eyed, typical European. The Mummy. So I had a lot of these, and that's how I got them. So he bought me it. It's not a book you would sit and read, of course. It's more a visual thing. Gives you a wee bit of detail about the films. I'll put that back up. So he bought me this when I took ill. There's another one, but I can't get at it. It's too high up. It covers another fascination and pastime of mine when I was a young man. It's a book on makeup. It's modern makeup in modern films. He bought me that as well. That's another Hammer book. A reference. Yeah, that's right, Happy House. It's a reference book. See, I'm out of breath already. That's what I've got. So I've got lots of stuff. Yeah, that's Hammer produced these films. Ghost, yeah. Well, as I say, I don't like to think on it too much. The posters, because or they became valuable. It's not. I didn't get them because it was they would be valuable. I never thought they would have any value. They just had a value to me because of my fascination with movie making. And sometimes I would not only get the poster, sometimes I would get the still photographs that they used. Well, that's why I don't go on about it, Steve. No point in crying over spilled milk. Just torture yourself. Yeah, we lost a lot of important things to me on that removal. We lost my mother's photographic collection. she had written to all the studios in Hollywood over the years and massed this collection of 10 by 8 of all the big movie stars. And she had it in a photographic album. I used to sit and look at this, just look at the photographs. And obviously I was learning something about photographic techniques and all of that, but you don't realize that. That was lost. My mother's 78 record collection was lost. $300 a pop, says Steve. Yeah, I've no idea. No idea. Depends on the poster, I suppose. I mean, I had the original poster for Christopher Lee and Dracula when they did the first one, 1958, 59. I had that, and I had him and the Mummy as well, um, and the original Frankenstein that they did. I also, my whole makeup kit went missing. It'd take me years to buy and build up, along with the sets of photographs that had been taken of makeups that I'd done. Well, that's right. Happy House 78s are easy to break. Not bendable like LPs and singles, no. Yeah, well, she lost them all, and that was a collection that she and her sister, Manti Femi, had put together, you know, putting their money, their pocket money together and buying a record every other week. So it was a shared collection of records. It didn't all belong to my mother, so to speak. All gone. All just gone. Terrible. She never said too much about it, but I'm sure it must have broken her heart. And of course, this is the music that I had been brought up with. It was a mixture of classical and what was then, of course, contemporary music. And so I consider myself to be very fortunate in that regard that I had this incredible store of records that was in the house for many years. And I could play them anytime I wanted. So it was good. And that gave me a big, rich influence before I even got started. And I remember in secondary school when we finally got a music teacher, she was quite surprised at the kind of music that I had been listening to growing up. because it had all these classical influences. Hoax! Good evening, hoax. So getting back to Homeland, I'm glad that they've got uh, their name through. I wonder if they'll find it as useless as I found it. It's a money train. Everything's about money. They're always looking for money from you. And all you get on their part is um, the name of your party goes on the ballot. That's it. I came to see it as being irrelevant. Perhaps it's not. I wish them well. I wish them well. I'd be very interested to see the papers he put up for his application, and I wonder who wrote them. This is your money talking. As I say, I really do wish him well. I do. But yeah, I met Kenny Smith. He came here, came to the town to visit with me, to talk over some politics. No, this has gone back a few years now. And I tried to get him to see things in the way that I saw them, but I failed. He was quite set on doing things his way, which is fair enough. I don't know. It depends, Streaky. I wonder if Patriotic Alternative will lose more people to Homeland Party. I don't know. You see, my argument was always that the minute PA did anything, they would get bad press. Even if they were doing good things, they would get bad press because of the leadership. And that would always hamper any progress. And that was my argument and my position, and it still is. I haven't changed from that. Now, that's not anything personal. But I'm old enough. I'm old enough for most things. But I'm old enough to be able to tell you that I watched that television show that Mark Collette made. I watched it when it originally screened on national television. And the newspaper that was put out before it, there was lots of articles before the actual television show itself aired, and then afterwards there was a blitz of these articles about Mark Collett. I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. I couldn't believe what he allowed the TV people to do. I just couldn't believe it. And I kept asking myself, where were all the older people in the party? Where were they? What were they doing? Why were they not advising him not to let himself be exposed to this, that, and t'other? I don't know. I don't know anything about the ins and outs of it, right? But I can remember the uproar at the time when that show went out. Cheeky sod, William. When Joan first voted, the ballots were slate. Patriotic alternative sounds like an alternative to patriotism. Yeah, you could read it that way. So, I mean, he was daft enough to let them right into his bedroom first thing in the morning, getting out of bed. Now, I don't know anybody who looks good getting out of bed first thing in the morning. He allowed them almost into the toilet. It was that bad, in my opinion. There should have been barriers put up. There should have been limitations put on the TV people. But there weren't. There didn't seem to be any. And he was carried away with himself, saying things that he should not have been saying. And that's the thing of it, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter if this is a deeply held view that you have. If you know that deeply held view is toxic to the general public, then you need to keep it to yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. And I was right as it turned out. All these years later, newspapers and televisions just will never let that go. The minute he raises his head anywhere, that's what they'll bring out. Edmund's saying he thinks he saw that show. I think I saw the Mark Collett programme as well. You may well have done, Edmund. It depends on your age, but you could have. I just know I saw it. I was old enough. But you don't have to be my age to have seen it. You could have been quite young. Budgie, there are people who joined and now see corruption and bullshit. Good evening, Robert. Nice to see you. As I say, I don't know anything about Mark Collett on a personal level. I don't. Well, thank you for that support there, David. The truth, John. Some things are better not said, even if it's your beliefs. Yeah. Now, I have the reason, or one of the many reasons I brought up earlier, the whole thing about Gaza is I listen regularly to a man whose name you may know because you watch him also, and that's Scott Ritter. Now, he's an American, if you don't know this man, and he's able to say the kind of things that we cannot say. And I never thought I would live long enough because I never thought it would possibly happen in my lifetime. You know of him, Streaky, so you probably know what I'm about to say here. Now, Scott Ritter will sit there and he will talk about that there is and cannot ever be anything approaching Jewish exceptionalism. And he's right. You can't. You can't have exceptional. America's got it as well. You know, the way they talk, you would think God, and I mean it seriously, you would think that God blessed that country, especially when, of course, that cannot possibly be true. Same as there cannot possibly be exceptionalism. And what's going on and what he is able to say, Scott Ritter, and so does Colonel McGregor, another man I listen to on the same subject. But Scott Ritter is straightforward. He says it straight out aloud about this. There cannot ever be this exceptionalism, and it cannot be allowed to exist. Because it's led to where we are in Gaza. And I would argue it's what led us to what happened in Germany in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Right, so you know him, Streaky. Well, he was a weapon inspector, but yeah, I'm not here to defend him as such. I don't know anything about him except what he presents on these different shows that he appears on. And he says it. He says things that I don't think we're allowed to say yet in this country. But he talks about this exceptionalism is the problem, and he's right. It is the problem. Now, from here on in, they can never ever flag this around anymore about their exceptionalism. Not after what, not considering what they're doing. It's not even over. That's right. This is what he was, a weapon inspector. Yeah, oh, there's another example. Look at how the media and SNP did to Kate Forbes because of her beliefs, says David. And he's right. So what I'm saying here is a lot of those things that caused history to turn out the way it has turned out. I'm talking about European history, German history, 20s, 30s and 40s. Cannot happen. That exceptionalism isn't there. Can't be there. Not now. Not considering what they're doing. They're doing to the Palestinian what was done to them. And they are the very people who should know better and not do what was done to them, but they are, because they think that there'll be no price to pay for it because of America. But there will be a price. I don't know what that price will be, but there will be a price. There's too much anger and disgust has been caused by their actions. Durst is saying, Colonel McGregor's a straight-talking guy, as sceptical as we are of the persuasive ideology that's destroying us. Yes, he is, and he knows. He does it differently, though. He'll talk about it's the same people, it's the same group of people, he'll say, that's in the White House causing this problem as it is in the banks causing the problems there. And that's how he ties it up. My dog is wearing a MAGA collar for 2024, says Rory. Again, there's going to be repercussions there, as there is going to be everywhere else. Treble M, this is the thing. There's going to be repercussions. This cannot go on without a response, a reaction. And there will be. Just the same as there'll be a reaction to what is going on in Gaza. Sooner or later, patience is going to crack. Well, you're quite right, of course, Happy House. They were having a go at from the river to the sea chants when they have it on their flag, the two blue lines, which is exactly correct, of course. No, I haven't talked about Gonzala Ingram, Robert. I see you on Mr. Potter's streams. It's sad. I think Gonzala lost his life, or his life was taken. He didn't lose it, it was taken. From what we can tell, or what I can tell from a distance, it would seem that he had pneumonia, same as I had, and that's a bloody awful thing to have. He had a double pneumonia, and had he got treatment, he would probably have survived. Antibiotics was what was given to me, and that would have probably saved him. He had some other ailments. I think he had something wrong with his heart. And of course, one thing aggravated the other. And without treatment, um, he didn't survive. And he didn't expect to survive. He said it himself. I watched them a lot after I had discovered them. That was harsh with where he reported so much on the Duran at the start of the war. And he was on Galloway's show as well a few times. Yes, it is actually a killer, Edmund. My dad died of pneumonia. Yeah. God will not allow this to go on without intervention. It may not be the big interventions that we read about in the Old Testament, but there'll be interventions, and I believe there are interventions. I really do. Good evening to you, Ludwig. Nice to have you here. It's an awful thing, that pneumonia. It really is. And it spreads out too. So that's what started the cancer on me. Started as pneumonia and then developed into cancer. I can only imagine with Gonzalo, it would just get progressively worse, and effectively he would drown. Not a pleasant way to go. So yes, may he rest in peace for your dad, as Treble Amos saying. And may Gonzalo rest in peace. And apparently the reason why he wouldn't leave Ukraine is because his family was there, although he was estranged from them. But that's what is said. He knew what he was doing. Let's be honest. He knew the risks. He knew if he went to prison that he would likely die there. I honestly thought that he might have got across the border on a motorcycle. Obviously not. It's sad. Yeah, it's It's a long time, Bass. It's because I've been ill, as you know. The whole illness interrupted everything, and I've got to look after myself. So I'm taking it easy. It's unlikely that I'll ever go back to 3 nights a week. I have to look after my health. Streaky, when he first got near to the border, he uploaded a video and they caught him after that. You should have got to Hungary first. Is that how it was done, Streaky? I pinpointed his location through the phone. I watched that too. I just kept praying that he would get across. That was an error. That was, if that's what got him caught, that was a real error. Very good, Happy House. Even Steve McQueen didn't achieve that. Yeah. Well, that's true, Durst. The corruption in Ukraine has been going on for donkey's years, on and on and on. And when you see the mess of the country, I've seen the vid when you released it. Yeah, you fucked up there. I think so. If that's what they used to pin his location, yeah, he really screwed up there. He should have got across the border first, and then sent a short video and then get back on his bike and hightailed it as far away from the border as he could. Well, what can we do? Nothing. We can only watch on helplessly. Helplessly. Terrible. I'll put on a different video. I'll put on a music video. Do you know that? Yeah, I'll put on a piece of music. That's what I'll do. We'll listen to a bit of music. Not my music. Song written by Don McLean called Empty Chairs. Hope you like it. You've heard it before, but I'll let you play it again.
I feel the trembling tingle of a sleepless night creep through my fingers when the moon is bright. Beams of blue come flickering through my window pane like gypsy moths that dance around the candle flame. And I wonder if you know that I never understood that Lord you said you'd go until you did. I never thought you would. The moonlight used to bathe the contours of your face. White chestnut hair fell all around the pillowcase. And the fragrance of your flowers rests beneath my head. A sympathy bouquet left with the love instead. And I wonder if you know that I never understood the law you said you'd go. Until you did, I never thought you would. Never thought the words you said were true. Never knew just what you meant. Never knew how much I needed you. Never thought you'd leave until you went. Morning comes and morning goes with no regret. And evening brings the memories I can't forget. Empty rooms that echo as I climb the stairs. And empty clothes that drape fall on empty chairs. And I wonder if you know that I never understood the law you said you'd go. Until you did, I never thought you would.
Have you seen the video of the Down syndrome guy on the front line? And he is the lookout guy. Cannon fodder. He says, but you know I haven't, Budgie. I heard though that they were going to recruit these folk. Anyone who they can get there. Oh, thank you, Duck. It's a lovely song. Again, it's one of Don McLean's songs that I really like. And I told you the funny story, at least I thought it was funny. I took Laura up to see Don McLean and the Citizens. And we were up in the balcony. And when he tours like that, what he does is he has a central part to the show where the band goes off and it's just him, his guitar, lights go down, and he sings Vincent, and he sings that and a few other slow ballads of his. And of course, this is what he did. And as he started the song, Laura, in a voice that seemed awfully loud, said, "He's singing one of your songs, John." And of course, he just looked up. And that was it. He just looked up. And I'm tugging on Laura to be quiet, don't say a word. And then he went on, because she had never heard him sing it. And she thought it was my song, you see. Oh. So it's a lovely song. I always liked it from when I first heard it. I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it. It used to be part of my repertoire when I was out and about. Yeah, it's a nice song, Dust, if you don't know it. Hard to tell them apart. You really think so? Vincent's a lot more difficult to play than that, in my opinion. Well, I found it more difficult to play than that. So much so that I never ever played Vincent live. I play that instead. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, it is. I wish it had been me. It's one of those songs, you know. I'm sure all the other songwriters in the chat will agree. It's one of those songs you wish you had written. It's certainly a song I wish I had written, but didn't. Yeah, exactly. Not a dry eye in the house. That's it. Absolutely. I singing your song, Joe. Oh dear. And of course, what I had done, yeah, I might as well finish the story. What I had done, because uh, to make extra money, of course, there's a booklet, an A4 booklet had been made up. Beautiful presentation, must add. Lovely colour photographs, uh, information about Don McLean himself, etc., etc. It was a souvenir thing, so I bought Laura one. Cost a few pounds. I think it was like £5 or £10. So I bought it anyway. And it, he said he would make himself available for uh, signing autographs at the end of the show. Brilliant. So I said to Laura, right, when the show finishes, we'll just sit here and wait, uh, and we'll go down and we'll get we'll get him to autograph your booklet here, and which is what happened. So as it turned out, and I was happy the way it turned out. It turned out that there was only one person in front of us to get an autograph from him, and then it was us, and that was it. We were the last, and that was fine by me. A couple of things about it. I didn't appreciate that he was so short in height. I didn't realise that, until at that point when he was standing there waiting to sign this book. So anyway, as he's signing it, Laura says, uh, "You know, I thought that Madonna, she was shite at your song, American Pie. You're much better at it than she is." He just, but credit where it's due. Never said a word. Didn't pause. Didn't look up. He would just went on signing the book. I thought, what a professional. And that was Laura. Super. That was her giving her opinion, of course. Honestly, it wasn't me, Happy House. I never said a word. I always thought, well, he's laughing all the way to the bank because he's getting some pretty hefty cut in every record that she's selling because it's his song. And that's true, of course. Um, oh, right, okay. Requests. I'm getting requests here. Okay, I can do requests. I don't mind. Okay. This is for this is for all of you, but especially for Budgie, because I know he just loves this. I don't think it's so much the fact that it's me singing it. I think it's the arrangement and the visuals. But anyway, it's called Play with Fire. You'll know the song, some of you.
Well, you got your diamonds and tiaras by the snow. I sure what drive your car now. You let everybody know. But don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Your mother, she's an heiress, owns a block in St. John's Wood. Your father would be there with her if he only could. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Well, you got your diamond, you will add some other. You better watch your step, girl, or start living with your mother. But don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Well, you got your diamond tiaras by the sea. You get your kicks in Stepney, not in Knightsbridge anymore. But don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire.
Thank you, Ludwig. That is Erlenmeyer von Vark, of course. Oh, I know you like that one. I know you do. Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliments. That's that's one that we used to play in a group, by the way. And then when I went on my own, I continued with it. I kept it. So when I came to record music, I included it. Um, well, thank you, Robert. Thank you. This is this usually gets gets people to leave the stream when I start playing music. But we'll continue with this. I'll play this one, and that'll be it. Okay. Now this is a song that was specially written for a writing project. It's called "Hail to the Lord." Again, Toffee used to like this. Oh, wait. I think it's no longer with us. And that was Budgie's work, of course, not mine. Yeah, we're down to 15. See, that's how you get. Mannequin has left us. I don't know if he'll come back at some point. I hope he does. He he went off. Um, he went off elsewhere. swear. Yeah. This is a song I wrote in 1974. I need to get back to regular streaming, and I'm sure some of these people will return to this. I know that Skywalker's not. He phoned me and ages ago before I took ill. Well, was I ill? I think I was ill at the time, and said he was dropping out. I'm sorry to say, but his choice. Anyway, I'll put this on, make this the last one. It's a song called Crossroads. It's one of the first songs I ever wrote I thought was any good. He's okay, but his mum was on her way out. He told me. That's as much as I can tell you because that's as much as I know. So yes, this was written in 1974. Was it 1974? Yeah, in 1973, 74. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Crossroads.
Why take a cab? It's not far and we could walk, using the time. Maybe we'll talk. You surely see that unlike before, I'm trying so hard to love you more. Have we both come to those crossroads in time, just to find one has doubts in their mind? And here we both stand, time ticking past, wondering how fate has us cast. And will you remember me, darling? Will this be our grand affair? Remember romancing by candlelight? Now we're just ships in the night. And so here we are, is this how it ends? Parting or what, but still good friends. And though our two roads will only once cross, we'll gain more by that than ever we lost.
So there you go. Thank you, Steve. Oops. Thank you for that compliment. Same for you, Bass. Thank you. Well, photographs that you see on my channel are normally my photographs. Well, thank you, Edmund and Durst. Well, as I say, it was one of the first Streaky's saying, lovely song, John. It reminds me of Victorian workhouse and the first love I left behind there in 1876. Lovely sweet song, John, said Treble M. Oh, 1876. Now, if you'd have said 1846, but yeah. Rory says, my old regiment carried Ted Heath's coffin at Salisbury's Cathedral. So embarrassing. Yeah, I can imagine that. Steve, be funny if it was a workhouse. Workhorse. Yeah. Beautiful mood, says Budgie. Yeah, your piece was good. Anyway, it's getting near 11, folks. Any questions when you come back? Well, before I forget, I am on Sunday, the 4th of February. I have an invitation to appear with the very eminent Scots Armour on his stream on Sunday. So if you want to hear more of me, I shall be on along with Scots Armour. I don't know, not quite sure if his normal guests will be there, DJ and oh, there's Spanish Chicken. Oi, not seen you for a while in these parts, Spanish Chicken. Lurking. Roar. So that's Sunday. If you want to pay a visit to Scots Armour, if you don't normally, I shall be there on Sunday. Punishment and torture. Should it be law? That's my 10th question. Punishment and torture. Well, punishment can be torture and would be if I had my way, Budgie. Without a doubt. In fact, I've spoken about it before. I would build that special prison called Endvale, where people go and they don't get released ever. Especially for paedophiles and murderers. That's where they would go. Endvale. In fact, I have a sketch over here on the side of the cubby hole where I've drawn out how it should be laid out. And if I should ever come to power as First Minister in Scotland, it would be built, and it would be built where I have in mind. So some people will say I am my answer is too cruel. That Enville is too much. I should dial it back. I've been told by certain people. Oh, there's Rory got a different question. Because in Enville there would be, if you were from a different country, you would get your holy book, and that would be your reading material. No library. If you were European or of this country, you would get a Bible. No library. There'd be no television, no internet, no mobile phones, solitary confinement. And I was watching a documentary weeks ago. I came across it. I didn't look it out. I just came across it. A prison like that in Russia. And I picked up a couple of good ideas from the way they run that prison. Let's see what Rory's saying here. Final question, John. Any thoughts on Sam Millen's conviction at Leeds Crown Court for stickering with intent? Stickering with intent. In my opinion, it was a complete travesty of justice. I don't know anything about the case, Rory, to be honest. I've no idea. I can't comment. So I'm sorry, I can't answer the question. I just don't know anything about it. Make them watch EastEnders. There's a fate worse than death. Yeah, it's this place was something else. Yeah, I know. It's 11 o'clock, Steve. Thank you very much for reminding me. But some people say that's too harsh. There'll be no visiting, of course. Visiting once a month. There'll be no appeal. You get sentenced to Enville. That's it. There is no appeal from that. There's no time off because you ain't coming out except in a coffin. But some people say I'm too harsh with it. I don't think so. I think you have to, excuse me, once you start talking about crimes like interfering with children or worse still, killing children, then you have to set a different set of rules for people like that. There can't be any soft touch. And the reason why I don't go for the death penalty uh, is because it's over too quick. And then in addition to that, I would always worry that we might have made a mistake. Edmund, I have stayed in staff accommodation that was worse than a prison cell. God help you. Ludwig saying the real criminals control the justice system, unfortunately. But as I like to remind you all on such positions as that, that's only the way it is now. If any of our people would come into power, we would change this. I would change that. So that isn't the case. We're only hampered because of the way things are now. It wouldn't be that way if we were in power. We would change things to suit what we think is correct and just. I always have them visit every day by their worst nightmare, and I demand the Nobel Prize. I tell you. Well, I think that's one way of putting it, and I think it's worse than that, of course. And that's why I think this side of the grave we can't afford to show mercy for that behaviour. That's just my feelings on it. I think the death penalty is too quick for a starter, and it leaves the possibility of mistakes. And I'd rather have somebody locked up for a long time in error than put to death in error. At least if they're locked up, you can at least let them go. That's the way I see it. Very simplistically. Anyway, it's time to go. So, as I always say, folks, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and for the moment, goodbye for now. I shall return next week, possibly Tuesday. Okay, I shall be on Scott's Armour's channel on Sunday. So maybe I'll see you there. If not, enjoy the rest of your weekend and thank you all for being here tonight. Take care. Bye just now.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together
But
now.
love's much more
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But a very important glow.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past the consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
But we're much more
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But a very important one.
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
Okay, folks, you take care and enjoy the rest of the week. And I might see you on Sunday. So, bye just now.